Hi, welcome to SoCali's Wrestling. Today we have. Oh, let me do this better. Let me introduce from Austin, Texas. She squats 225 and bench press 190. We have Jordynne Grace. I gotta do that
Hey,
better.
thank you so much.
Was it you that got that idea? It's like, you know what, I'm gonna do something different when it comes to people talking about my weight, or like you don't want to talk about your weight. It's like, let me do something better.
No, I don't mind people saying my weight, but I think that some people assume that women don't want their weight to be told, which that's not me at all. I don't care. So normally when they announce me, I actually sometimes I'll give them my weight and sometimes I'll just give them the stats. So it just kind of depends on what the show is.
Did you increase yet now your bench press ability and your squats now become 190 is now 290 and your bench and your squats is like 225 now 325 or triple that?
Well, the thing about lifting is it's like it always just goes up and down, like depending on the week. So I try and just set an average, and I use that as my entrance stats.
Mm.
Like I think I could squat. I think I could bench more than 190 on like a really really good day, but on average, that's like where I'm at.
Or a really shitty day and it's like, man, I want to lose that anger, so you go use that 190 bench press. Like, you know what? Let me go further than that. It's like I'm not feeling happy, and then you kind of go up to your maximum strength.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm
But
not.
yeah, and also some people, I have an issue because some people don't do like in ring announcements. You know what I mean? And so they do like the on the way to the ring announcements, which I can't stand. So it's really difficult for the fans to like actually hear what the announcer is saying when my music is playing and the announcer is talking at the same time.
And then you got people already know it's like, oh, what's her when the ring announcer introduce you. It's like, okay, you got the audience attention. It's like, oh, we know what she does. She squats 225 and she squats 225 and she bench press 190. It's like you get the people's attention.
Yep, exactly.
So
So where are you at right now? You're in what part of California?
I live in Los Angeles, California, and I'll be happy until next month when you come over here to LA wrestling at
Yeah,
the. Go
are you
ahead.
coming to AWS?
Yes, I already purchased my ticket because you're one of the reasons why I'm going.
Ooh, sweet.
Is that your
Awesome.
first?
Yeah,
Is
it's my
that
goodness. It's my first time in California, my first time on the West Coast in general. So
is it hard to
that's a
get?
hard place to get to.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is it the only show that actually gave you close to beat wrestling in California, or did you have other bookers, promoters, and it's like, oh, we want you in the Bay Area. Oh no, we want you in San Diego, or
No, I've I've really never been contacted by anyone besides AWS about wrestling in California, and I don't know. I mean, I don't really know any promotions out there, so I don't know.
what about PWG? Are you familiar with that promotion?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously yes, PWG, but they don't really make it a habit of booking a lot of women.
Oh no,
I
you had a.
think they were booking Candace a lot because she lived out there. I assumed.
Well, she used to, but now she lives in Ohio with her husband, Johnny Gargano.
And is she still working there?
From time to time, but none of like the daily booking sounds like more temporary or like seasonal.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to work for promotion if you live like really close to it.
Do you get a lot of promotions in Texas?
In Texas, I'm not in Texas.
Oh,
I'm in York, Pennsylvania.
oh, now you're closer to WSU, CCW, other major promotions out there, including the eastern part will be ROH. The only time we get ROH here is in Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. I work for WSU, and I work for a company called Beyond, which is in they run like in the New England area, which is
Well,
like Providence, Rhode Island, places like that.
so that's where you're living right now, or is that temporary? It's like, well, just for the shows.
I've lived here for like 2 years now. And then I'm moving back to Atlanta in June.
Huh. So why do you have the ring announcer saying Austin, Texas, and actually you kind of lived in Pennsylvania? Is it because of its easier name to?
Because they announce your hometown. They don't announce where you live currently.
Well, sometimes for wrestlers, they kind of want their hometown to be out there. It's like, oh yeah, I will live here. See, we have people actually from this area. We have wrestlers.
No, but yeah, Austin, Texas is my original place. So I have them just say that. I don't want to. And York, Pennsylvania sounds pretty lame. So.
Oh, don't tell it to the viewers here.
I mean, there's only like, this is a small town, so it doesn't matter.
How would you like wrestling for Beyond Wrestling and WSU?
Beyond Wrestling, they're both like my favorite promotions to wrestle for. Like, I've been wrestling for like 7 years now, and those are the two promotions I would put at the top of my list any day of the week.
Well, Beyond Wrestling, they kind of showing now monthly basis, weekly basis of like free matches, and one of the free matches was a couple times they showed you with Veda Scott, or you with Luifsto, or you with Karen Q. And it's like, oh
yeah, just recently I think yesterday they posted I did a handicap match versus me and team. It was me versus Team Alpha Sigma Sigma, and so Sigma. That's right now. So, it was supposed to be Team PAWG versus Team Ass, but Luifsto had a concussion, so I had to do it by myself.
I gotta say about PAWG. So can you tell us what is PAWG, and then you kind of team with Luifsto? How did that work out?
Okay, so basically, PAWG, if you don't visit adult websites very often, it means fat ass white girl, fat PHAT ass white girl, and it really just kind of started as a joke because me and Luifsto had wrestled a match, like I want to say it was like a year ago, and I was going through our comments one day on the video, and things kept coming up like, oh, what an amazing PAWG battle, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And I was like, what is that? And I was 20 at the time, 21 now, but I was like, I'm like usually up on these acronym kind of things. And so I had to Google it, and it was just like, that's the term that came up. And then so at one of the Beyond shows, I mentioned it to Luifsto, and she just couldn't stop laughing. And so I was like, yeah, if we ever tag team, that's just going to be our name. And then it just so happened that Beyond stuck us together, and so that was our name.
Well, at least you didn't say the other one, which is called Woody, White Girl with a Booty.
What's that?
Woody, WHOOTY, White Girl with a Booty.
See, I don't know these things. Like, I did not know.
Well, that. You don't watch the adult sides. That's why.
That's true.
You were cut off for a second.
Oh.
You're
my
good.
back?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So, yeah, like you were saying, it's like those, you'd be hearing that in like adult sites, or I sometimes hear that in certain areas, like not the nicer part.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you knew, but our finisher is called the Weapon of Ass Destruction.
Yes, and I actually, there was a t-shirt of the design of that maneuver, and it's on the Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yep, that's our finisher.
And that t-shirt's selling quick, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like a bunch of people posting pictures in them, so I'm really happy about that. It was a really good design. Like the person who did it is like a really good cartoon artist.
It looks like your ass was way bigger than Luifsto's. Like, I know that's appropriate, but well, whatever sells, it sells.
I know that's not the reality of it, but I'll take it.
Well, what did Luifsto thought about that t-shirt design?
When I first sent her the picture, she was just like, I sent it to her on Facebook Messenger, and she was just like, oh my God. She thought it was ridiculous.
I can't wait for you and Luifsto to come to California. Well, it won't be a tag team match. It'll be a singles match, and hopefully we get to see you two fight in any rounds of either first round, semi, semifinals or the finals.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We'll see.
And you've been mentioning about the comments of like talk about PUG, and I'm also reading every match you're on. There's always something not too positive, but it's always something negative. It'd be sexual thing about you. It's like, oh, she has ass, or she's curvy. It's like, oh, this, oh, that. And don't you take that offensive all the time in your social medias, on YouTube, Twitter, or you kind of embrace it now?
I don't think that it's offensive, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just too used to it now. I just kind of just ignore it. I just read it and I'm just like, If it's a particularly funny comment though, like some people will make the comments like, Jordynne Grace is thicker than so and so, and some people have like really clever ones. Like someone said Jordynne Grace is thicker than peanut butter in a freezer, which I thought was really funny.
That does
Those
not
ones
make sense. What?
Thicker than peanut butter in a freezer.
I'm not gonna get worse. I was gonna say if somebody said it's thicker than a snicker, I was like, oh my, that would be clever. But
Yeah, that one's too like everyone says it.
I understand. But in the beginning, did you get you kind of read those messages before you embraced it, but did you take it very offensive? Like you start to block people, ignore these people on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
No, I think from the very beginning, I would just, even when I first started, I would just screenshot the people who were like really annoying me or saying incredibly like rude things, and I would post it on my Facebook page for just people to see, and just to kind of call them out a little bit.
And then those people you kind of call out, do they actually respond back to you?
I mean, I don't really know how they didn't see that I screenshotted their post, but they would still like continue on with it. I think maybe in my whole entire like career of wrestling, I blocked like 3 or 4 people. And that's just because they would like literally like message me over and over and over and over again, and my phone would be blown up with these messages.
Well, I want to get off of that disgross sexual things they kind of put in comments. I
I
kind
get
of read
asked
them
about
too.
that a lot. So.
I kind of read them too as like, oh my god, I can't believe people what he mentioned about you. It's like I laugh about it. If that
You can't believe these people. Come on, they're wrestling fans.
and
Some wrestling fans are just grotesque.
well, do you believe sex sells? And actually, you will say yes.
Yep, exactly.
Is that the way your gear is like how it is? It's like one singlet.
Is that what?
Well, okay, so like you were saying, I said to you, the sex appeal is very useful in the wrestling business for a female wrestler. And then is that the reason why you have the one singlet as your wrestling gear?
No, I just think I have a amateur wrestling background, so it's pretty similar. I mean, you don't, and as an amateur wrestler, you don't go out in there in like little shorts and a sports bra. Basically, you go out in a singlet. So I get that from that, and also bodybuilding. If you see bodybuilders, they're normally not lifting in like a bathing suit. They're lifting in a singlet or a one piece.
Or just like regular shorts or a t-shirt, right? Like, well, singlet makes
Yeah,
sense.
Exactly.
And plus, it's
Yep.
like very flexible to any. If you're going to stretch, at least it kind of flexes onto you, like in the same tension, should I say?
Yeah, and I just feel more comfortable in it. Just everything I do, it feels more comfortable. I mean, I'm not normally a self-conscious person, but if I'm doing something and then later on I see a picture or a video of myself, and my stomach is just like, because you're obviously not gonna suck it in 24/7 in the ring. If your stomach's like just protruding everywhere, I'm just like, ugh. So I'd rather not be like distracted by that.
Well, I kind of thought it's like, oh, something you can use as like, oh, for like a Baywatch. Like, oh, okay, here's a little skin from the arms, from legs, and it's like, all right, a little cheeky from the backside. If I can see it in front of you, I will.
Yeah, that's like as much as I show, basically.
But I gotta see this too. Do you always get fans asking you for the weirdest things, like, hey, it's like, can you sell singlets, or can you do this, like a custom made video, like doing this part.
Yep, like all the time. But I don't have a problem selling like gear or socks or stuff like that. Like that's fine. But I know that there's been this person who's been emailing me for the past few weeks asking for a twerking video. And first of all, number one, I can't twerk. So, I mean, whatever I would do, that would not be twerking, and I don't think they would want to pay for it. But they just keep messaging me over and over again and asking me for that.
And how much you will charge for that person for the twerking video? You're supposedly twerking video.
How much I would not charge? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to put a price on that. How much do you think I should charge if I ever did it?
I'll go hundreds dollars right there or over. It's like, well, this is my free time. Well, hey.
Yeah, well, maybe it would depend on how long the video would have to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But did you actually sell socks to a wrestling fan?
Yeah, I've sold socks. I've sold pantyhose.
I'm gonna do a guessing game. For the socks, was it over $50?
Yes.
And for the pantyhose, I'm gonna say $200.
It was like, yeah, a little bit above that.
Wow, I can't believe that. See, well,
I mean, that's like the easiest money ever, right there.
You don't even have to wrestle.
Nope, just like send them the mail and get paid on PayPal, and that's it.
Why don't you transition as modeling than as a wrestler?
Say it again.
Why don't you transition from being a model than just being a pro wrestler?
Why don't I transition from being a model to a pro wrestler?
I mean,
or the
other way. Sorry about
that. I've just never been really interested in modeling. Like that's not my thing.
And your passion is pro wrestling, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take pictures. I'll take pretty pictures in front of a camera for wrestling, but I don't think I would just go out and do it on my own, you know? And there's so many people that are like try to be models, you know? There's girls on my personal Facebook page on Facebook, and they're all talking about how they want to be models this or models that. And I'm just like, I don't think you're gonna go anywhere. There's so many beautiful women in the world. It's hard.
Yeah, I feel you. I kind of see that it was like, well, because you kind of do the, you sell the 8x10, so you kind of show a little, I don't want to say bikini, but like actually you kind of pose for the camera. It's like, well, she can't transition modeling, and plus if she's doing that, the socks and the panties being sold, it's like, hey, she doesn't need to wrestle because that makes more money than wrestling. Sometimes, but depends on which promotions she's going to be working for.
But wrestling is just, I love wrestling, so I don't know what I would do on the weekends without it.
Did you love it when you were a child, as a kid?
Yeah, I think I started watching wrestling when I was like 10. So I guess I started late because I know some people have been watching wrestling since they were like 5. But yeah, that's when I started watching WWE, was when I was like 10 years old.
Was that the time you were watching, I will say, the Attitude Era?
I would say it was like just transitioning out of that. Like just turning out of that. So that was 11 years ago. So it's 2017 minus 11. Was that 2006 was when I started.
Oh, dang, you're very young. I was going to say, so that would be close to the last year. It's not even close to the Attitude Era. It's surpassed that, which they call it the ruthless aggression.
Okay, so I'm not really familiar with like the era terms.
I was gonna say, did you have
my cat keeps attacking my feet. I guess he wants to get up here.
No.
Oh no! Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, can you see me?
I can see you now. Perfect.
Okay. Sorry, my boyfriend just called me.
No worries. I already know who's the boyfriend. Is a ROH wrestler.
Yeah, I think he's calling to. I told him to pick me up some of this ice cream called Halo Top on the way home, which is like a protein ice cream. He probably wants to know oh my god, what flavor it is. Oh.
So I kind of apologize for the guys who wants to date Jordynne Grace. That's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Well, that'll be bad news for this interview for the guys who wants to date Jordynne Grace. But
Yeah,
anyways,
they just like turned off the video right now.
true. But I haven't got to the good parts yet. So, well, I kind of said the good parts, but I want to go to the wrestling background. You started watching it since 2006, almost close to the end of the Ruthless Aggression era.
Mm-hmm.
What caused you to like wrestling? Because you were saying 10 years old as a kid, but was it also another reason because your stepdad was a pro wrestler?
Yeah, that I think that he was the person that would watch wrestling in the house, and I'd start like sitting on the couch watching wrestling with him. But I mean, what's not to like when you're a kid and you watch wrestling? You know, it's like when you're a kid. When I was 10, I was like, oh my god, this guy so and so is so hot. You know, I wasn't like really studying the technique of some of these wrestlers. I was just looking at him and being like, oh my god, Edge is so gorgeous. Stuff like that.
Oh, no, I know. Did you like him when he was the radar superstar? When he was Dean Leo?
Yes. I was just like, I was in love with him. I was like, as a kid. Him, and you know what? I think this was like maybe more recent, but what was his name?
Don't.
Zack Ryder.
Okay, I was gonna say, do not say Roman Reigns. I'm gonna lose a bet.
No. Not that recent. But when Zack Ryder was on, I had like an action figure of him. How long ago was that? Like, when was he a big thing?
When he was a big thing, well, it's when he cut his hair, then he got the New Jersey look. It was in 2011 when he was doing the YouTube show.
Okay, that was like
2011.
14 around then.
You're very young, by the way. It's like, damn, she's right around the age.
Oh, I'm getting older every day. Just like yesterday, I was 16. So.
And then 2 days ago,
I'm gonna be 28 before anybody knows it, and I'm not gonna be able to be like, no one's gonna be able to say that anymore.
And then just 2 days ago, from today's interview, I just turned 26.
Oh wow, cool! Congratulations, happy late birthday, yeah, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. And that's why it's like, well, it's like my birthday gift for myself. I wanted to do the interview with Jordynne Grace. That's something I want to get into.
Oh, thank you. That's so flattering. Oh, and I don't know if the recording picked it up before, but this is my first Skype interview ever. So.
No, that was right after you kind of mentioned that. It's like, oops, I didn't record it. But hey, at least we got it here now recorded, so that's good. Anyways, so Zack Ryder's your recent crush, but you don't have any recent crush currently except for your boyfriend. I want to say the name. If so, people can just Google search his name or follow your.
What'd you say?
I'm saying that you have any recent crush, like a current wrestler, except for your boyfriend, and people will figure out who he is.
I'm pretty sure I don't know anybody that doesn't know who he is, but I mean, you know, that doesn't know he's my boyfriend. But no, I don't think I have a recent crush. I don't really pay attention to wrestlers like that anymore. And even if I did, I definitely would not say it on a recording because I feel like my boyfriend would watch this at some point in the future and be like, "Oh, you like so and so."
But that was the past. It's like we're not we're in the future.
Oh, I thought you meant like right now.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying right now, but.
No, I don't think that like that. I used to really like Evan Bourne. Like I do one of his signature moves The Here It Is driver.
Oh, I was gonna
You know
say
what that is?
the shooting star is like you can do that. That would be
No,
incredible.
I don't do that. Oh my god. That would be awesome though, right?
Right? You'd be a girl
Just
for your
bust that out.
the girl of your size can do the shooting star. It's like that'll be rare. And then also you got
Really, like any girl ever who can do the shooting star is awesome to me because I don't know any girl that can do that.
Mia Yim doesn't do the shooting star, but she does the
She does the 450.
yes. That's kind of
Yeah.
incredible. She can do that. Most female wrestlers can't do that.
Yeah, it's not a very common thing.
So I gotta now ask, how did you start getting into the pro wrestling business? Did you talk to friends who were pro wrestlers, or who they started to go to wrestling school? They told you, "Hey, why don't you join us to start doing this wrestling school thing?" And go from there, or just like a hobby. What caused you to go to a wrestling school?
Well, like we were talking about before, my stepdad was a wrestler, and I just kind of my mom would like accompany him to his training practices or whatever, and I would be with her obviously because I was a kid. So we would just go up there and I would watch, and then eventually I just wanted to try it out. So that's what I did. And then it has led me to this point.
You haven't been in the wrestling business for too long, right?
7 years.
7 years? I thought you'd be like 4 or 5 years like that.
I started when I was 14. So wait, is it 7? This is my 7th year. I'm in my 7th year, so 6 years total. This is my 7th year coming around.
Wow.
I started when I was 14.
That is crazy. Not everybody can do the age of 14, like Paige, or even start off as a kid. But is it good?
I wasn't doing anything crazy like I do now. I mean, I was doing like 2 shows a month maybe because I was still in high school. I was a freshman in high school, so I couldn't really do all that crazy stuff.
I gotta ask, how was your first match when you were 14 years old?
God, I mean, it was awful. I'm really glad it's not on YouTube. So.
Did your mom actually record the match, or somebody recorded it?
I think she did, and I deleted it at some point in the past few years. But yeah, it was really awful.
You can just do it from it's like first time versus current time. It's like, oh, look at the big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when on your first time, it's not always the perfect match, but they kind of remember how it was. It's like something you kind of misstep, or you can hear the wrestlers talking amongst themselves, and people like, we heard what you're gonna do next. So
yeah, I definitely did not know what I was doing.
I was gonna say, Jordynne, do you have a favorite opponent, or opponent you want? Not favorite opponent, or let me rephrase that. A person you will want to wrestle, past, present, or future.
Past, present, or future. I don't have like a strong desire to go back and wrestle anyone. Like, I feel like if I wrestled like Ric Flair, like right now, like that, I don't think that would be a good match for anybody to watch. Like, it's just so random. Here, Jordynne Grace, this indie wrestler versus Ric Flair. I don't know. It just like it doesn't sound right.
Hey, if that's something you want to happen, it's like, let it happen. That's your match, nobody's match.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be awesome. It would just be like so weird at the same time.
All right. Okay, let's go to the female wrestlers. Is there anybody you want to wrestle at this time that you haven't wrestled yet?
Oh man, I've wrestled a lot of people. Let me think.
Can you name who you wrestled? I want to know who. I know.
Some of my favorite opponents, I'll tell you that, are like Mia Yim. I wrestled her one time, and we're having a match upcoming next month. I love wrestling Luifsto. But yeah, those are my 2 favorite people to wrestle, hands down. They're awesome.
Well, for Veda Scott, I gotta ask this question.
Oh yeah, Veda. Veda's like
How
Veda's
can you forget her?
crazy. I don't know. I had like a whole thing with her, but she's just wild, man. Like
Well, don't you have a
yes, I
feud?
love to wrestle Veda.
Don't you have a feud with her
What?
at Beyond Wrestling?
Yeah, we had like a whole like 6-month feud that I forgot about apparently.
Damn. Well, it's too many bumps in the head now. I can say Jordan. You kind of forget. It's like, oh, I had a feud with her just not too long ago. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I literally like have a headache right now. I'm just trying to like push past it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I drank like a really cold water earlier.
Well, probably didn't have your ice cream yet, so you're gonna get that later.
Yeah, that's true. I need like my sugar fix real quick.
I gotta say, how do you keep yourself into fit? Like like I mentioned in the introduction, you kind of do a squat, you kind of bench press. How do you keep yourself in shape?
I suck at it. Like I'm the worst at dieting. It's really bad. But I try to eat healthy like 70% of the time. Um, a diet is like I mean, I'm a personal trainer too, so diet is like 99% of looking good, and it's like the worst thing, the thing I'm worst at. But I go to the gym like five to 6 days a week. Sometimes I'll do 7 if I like take a class or something like yoga or something. But I'd lift every day and I run. So just like normal things that people would think about.
And well, you kind of say you're a personal trainer, like aside when you're not wrestling. So do it like temporary, or is that something like you do, like a hobby?
I have a personal training certification through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and I was training people at Gold's Gym for a while.
And then they come up to you and say, "Hey, it's like, what do you do outside of the training?" It's like, "Well, I'm a pro wrestler." Or it's like, did anybody tell you like questions like, "What do you do outside of being a certified trainer?"
Yeah, that's like what they would normally ask. I mean, because personal training is a very intimate one-on-one thing, so we would definitely talk about each other's lives, and they would ask me about pro wrestling, blah blah blah, and then they'd look me up and look at my matches and all this other stuff.
And they ever told you it's like pro wrestling, and giving that crazy question like this, and it's like, why become a pro wrestler? You can do something else.
No, but you know what the main thing I got that reaction from was when I told people that I moved up here from Atlanta. They would just look at me like, "Why did you move to York? Why did you move to York, Pennsylvania from Atlanta?" And I was just like, "I don't know. We just kind of like pointed to a map. We just wanted to move to somewhere on the East Coast, and this is where we ended up."
Well, you kind of gone to the East Coast because, well, that Northeast kind of because of pro wrestling, right?
Yeah, it's the pro wrestling is good up here, but I guess most people just don't understand that. Most people wouldn't know that the pro wrestling on the East Coast isn't good. So,
Well, why not just instead of moving from York, why not just live in Florida?
do you say, do I want to live in Florida?
Yes.
I've heard like really mixed opinions on Florida, that it's kind of like the same as everywhere else as far as booking goes. The only reason I'd like to move, I'd like to go down there and like stay for a while is because I'd like to work Shine.
Which Shine is like, I know Shine is trying to be competitive against Shimmer and WSU because to me that's like the number 3 of, well, I think now it's 4 because of Japan's stardom with the women's wrestling promotion over there. There's not a lot of women's wrestling promotion. Shine is one of them. We did WSU, but is that something you still want to do as one of your goals is to wrestle for Shine?
Yeah, definitely. And I've been talking to them for a little while, but it's hard because I'm all the way up here. It's like 20 hours down there unless I'm flying. So,
Will you actually, if you were not able to take a plane and they told you, hey, we want you, I don't know, Friday, it's like, can you make it? It's like, were you willing to drive just to go there to wrestle for Shine?
no, I'm sorry. No, For when I lived in the Midwest, like I would take like 18 to 24-hour road trips, but it just is not my thing anymore. I cannot sit in a car for that long. And I'm not trying to be stuck up or anything, but that's just like a ridiculous amount of time.
Which it's understanding because some people, again, they were like, I don't want to say impatient, but they kind of get tired being in one spot for too long. And
Yeah, it's like those kind of trips are exhausting. And if I was like maybe if I was doing 3 shows in a row, like a triple shot, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Cheyenne was one of those days, I'd definitely do it. But just for one show, I don't think so.
But it has to be the show that's going to be close by, right? You can't be say, oh, like you have a show Shine, and then you have to go back up north for WSU for Saturday and Sunday, Ohio. Like you won't do that, right?
No, that would suck.
Right. And then you have to
That would be really bad.
And then you have to take the plane just to get one point to the other, and then go back, and then go back home.
Yeah, I'm really into like flying nowadays. That's my thing. Wednesday I'm going to Atlanta for a show, and I'm flying there. So
on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's actually not like a show. It's like a custom shoot kind of thing. So I'm going there for that.
And again, you kind of mentioned on your social medias you do also the custom videos. And you recently said that in in this interview, people can ask you for any custom video, correct? Or it has to be pro wrestling.
It's wrestling. Yeah, it's like wrestling videos. Like you script your own match, basically.
And what was the hardest? I don't want to say hardest, difficult custom video you made? What when it comes to choosing the wrestler and choosing the stipulation?
The hardest ones to do are like the 2 out of 3 falls. Like when fans want to have you do like a 2 out of 3 falls match in a customs is difficult because it's just like you have to remember 3 different things, like 3 different spots in which the pin is going to happen. That one's hard. Also, there was this one I did where it was like the winner, the first person to get a pin, a submission, and a tap out was the winner. So that one sucked. Like all 3 of those things.
But you forgot, it's like which one's the pin, which one's the submission, then, or it's like, is there 2 submissions and 1 pin? Then like going back.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, it's not. What wasn't my cup of tea, but normally they're pretty easy. Like they're not really difficult.
Man, I bet you that's like very expensive to get that custom video, right?
It depends. Like for a 5-minute video, it's like $100, and then 10 minutes it's like $150, and then I think 15 minutes is like $200. So it goes up in $50 increments. It's not too bad.
Oh yeah, damn.
If you want to script your match.
Well, I'm gonna say if people wants a $200 worth of video, I think they have to sell their console to the Lord to get that video to be made.
Yeah, but there's people that there's guys that buy these multiple videos every month,
And are you one of the chosen ones? Like, hey, I want Jordynne Grace. I want Jordynne Grace, like constantly. It's like all these different fans, they always ask Jordynne Grace.
Oh, you were breaking up really bad. What did you say?
Okay, I was kind of mentioning that. Are you always the big name when it comes to custom videos? Like, hey, I want Jordynne Grace from all the various fans that knows you.
No, I don't think so. I think the dudes are like, like Maria Manic.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think they just really want like the huge tits and like, that kind of thing. They're more into like that look. Some of them are into like me, like every custom match I ever do, I'm always squashing someone. Like I'm always just destroying someone. If someone really small, like that's the thing. That's what they love to see.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question. You kind of mentioned Maria Manic. She kind of refereed one match for you, right? When it was you versus Casey Carlisle.
Yeah.
How was it when she was refereeing?
That was her. When she was reffing?
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't know. I think that was like a year ago.
Was it bad?
I don't remember.
I was just gonna say that was terrible. I'm being honest. If I gonna
It
have,
was a terrible. Yeah, I really can't remember. I just don't. I don't know. I don't remember at all. She probably messed something up. I just forget.
well, now for a couple of times, it's like wow, because it's on YouTube, so I kind of noticed that. So I thought she was for a second. I thought it was Barbie Haney, but I was wrong. There was somebody else, which is pretty romantic.
No.
But yeah. What's your goals for this year and the next coming years? You're willing to do.
My goal is to just get on a bigger stage. Like that's always been my goal, and it's taking forever, but I'm trying to climb this mountain. So that's my goal. I'd like to wrestle for Women of Honor at some point. I'd of course any wrestler would love a WWE tryout. That would be awesome.
Did you have one?
But yeah. What?
Did you have a WWE tryout before?
No, I have not had a WWE tryout before.
Did you actually went through the tryouts they had, or like did they call you, or what's the deal?
No, I've done extra work for them one time as a Rosebud, but I've never done an actual tryout where they fly you down and you go through the whole process.
How was it being a Rosebud?
I mean, boring mostly because it was like a 3-day thing. It was for Hell in a Cell like 3 years ago, and they only wanted to use the Rosebuds one time. So 2 of the days we just sat around and ate catering and did nothing.
Did you meet any of the wrestlers you see on TV? It's like, oh, it's very nice to meet you, and then it's like, oh, they were polite, and then you got it's like the saying goes, "Don't meet your idols," kind of thing, and then it was a douche.
Yeah, I didn't meet any of my idols, but I definitely met a lot of people like Alicia Fox and The Big Show and Mark Henry, those kind of people.
And then were you kind of, as I want to say, well, it's like, well, you're kind of showing off. It's like I can do this. I can push ups more than you guys. So I can squat more than you guys. Like showing off.
Say that again. I can barely hear you now. So what'd you say?
Okay, I was saying that were you kind of showing off when you kind of mentioned big names like Big Show and Mark Henry? It's like, oh, it's like I'm a weightlifter too. See, let me do some push-ups and squats. Like showing off is like, hey, I'm somebody different. It's like hopefully you guys can.
No, not at all. That's generally frowned upon. So I would just shake the hands and then go on about my own business. I mean, they don't really care about you that much if you're an extra,
I don't know.
And you don't want to make a bad either.
I know some of the extras to kind of use for the Rosebuds are right now, and some of them are in big name, or that was in ROH, TNA. Right now, the WWE main roster. Like Braun Strowman was one of the original Rosebuds, and look at where he is right now.
Yeah, but that's like one person out of what, hundreds of people that have been Rosebuds?
And Becky Lynch was a Rosebud too.
Oh, okay, sorry. 2 out of 100.
Oh, Mike just look at the videos again. It's like, oh, it's like wasn't Taylor Hendricks a Rosebud? It's like, oh, now 3. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna cut this interview. It's like, well, I gotta ask her the right questions, which I did, and a couple days after my birthday, so they crossed my bucket list. Actually had a video chat with you for the first time, and hopefully to meet you at LA for next month at AWS.
Yes. Oh, can I ask something real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Who else have you interviewed on your channel?
I interview Karen Q, Thunder Rosa, a couple wrestlers here in the Western sphere, which is like Alexander Hammerstone, Joe Graves, Mr. 450, his best friend, the Oracle. There's still a couple more lists that I can't name on top of my head. Oh, Casey Carlisle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know most of those people, so I was just wondering.
Angel Dust, Derby Doll, Holly Lane. I think there's still more. You can check on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, check it out after this.
I gotta ask why.
What?
I was saying it's like, oh, why she ask?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just very curious about these kind of things.
Well, I gotta ask.
I wanted to know if you've interviewed anybody that I know.
Well, I think Kara Q is one of them. You kind of know.
Yes, yeah, that's the first name you said, and that's the one I knew. I
And
know her, Thunder Rosa, Mr. 450. I know a bunch of them.
hopefully, I can get Deanna Purrazzo next. Deanna Purrazzo, Luifsto, but Luifsto is the one like already interview. It's like she's a big name. It's like I want somebody who hasn't got through to the top peak yet.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
Yeah. For those
I'll put in a good word for you.
oh, well, thank you, Jordan. Well, I hope I can interview her Luifsto for next month's show.
All right, cool.
For those who's watching the watching the interview, where can they follow you? Where can they get your merch? And also get that custom video.
You can, yeah, you can email me if you want to know more about the custom videos. My email is jordyn.grace@gmail.com. Jordynne is spelled different. It's spelled JORDYNNE. So that's how you spell it. It's kind of weird. And my Facebook page and my Instagram and my Twitter are all the same thing, Jordynne Grace. And you can get my t-shirts on my Pro Wrestling Tees page, which is also Jordynne Grace.
Oh, I gotta ask this before we finish in the interview. Did you really want to wrestle Sarah Del Rey at one point?
Sarah Del Rey? Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Imagine you got to meet Sarah Del Rey in person at an NXT tryout, and then you meet your idol, and then it's like, well, it's like, okay, let's do a little spot between you and her. Will you be so happy like you went to Disneyland for the first time?
I think I'd be like, yeah, I'd definitely be happy. I'd be nervous, but I'm pretty like confident in my skill at this point in time. So I think it'd be good. I think I could impress her like just by knowing what I can do.
Impressed her. Imagine it went bad. It's like, oh no, why do I do it in front of my idol, Sarah Del Rey?
Maybe not impress her. Maybe just like satisfy her, her level.
I gotta say this too. What was your worst matchup you ever had in the past within your 7 years?
Oh my god, I don't want to say that because then I'll have to say the person's name.
You don't have to say the person's name. You can talk about the scenario, but you don't have to mention the name.
The scenario? Okay, well, basically I went for a suicide dive and the person like literally stepped back instead of stepping forward to catch me. So I landed face first on the ground and scraped like my whole left side of my face off basically on the it was carpet that I landed on. So it like scraped off my skin. And then after that, she just like did not care, I guess. And so she just rolled me back in and then we literally finished the match. It was like 3 minutes tops.
That was your second quickest match you had. And your first one was with your teammate PAWG, Luifsto. It was a 2-minute squash, and you were at Beyond Wrestling.
Yeah, me and Luifsto have had 2 matches that have lasted less than 2 minutes.
I gotta this is the last thing I actually say to you. How would you met Luifsto? Is it Beyond Wrestling where you guys clicked, or how did it got into it with PAWG?
How did we meet?
Yes.
I want to say that the first time we met was actually at IWA Mid-South. You know what that is?
Yeah, IWA. Right.
Yeah, I think we met at IWA Mid-South at the King and Queen of the Deathmatch tournament. Like, 3 years.
Jordan, you kind of broke up right there. I couldn't hear you what you were mentioning about after you said AWA.
Yeah, your picture is frozen. Oh, there you are. Okay. Bad connection, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we met, was Ida Bay Mid-South. What else did you hear? Did you hear
No, that
me
was the
talk
part you kind of say
about how we were
about the.
opening match of the...
That was the part you kind of stopped.
Okay, so yeah, we met there and we wrestled at the King and Queen of the Deathmatch tournament, and we wrestled the opening match of that tournament. It was a non-death match.
Did you earn her respect and say, "Hey, she could be my bestie in the future on," or is like something I need to respect her as a wrestler?
I have no idea. I don't know if I earned her respect or not. I'll definitely ask her after this interview. Now though that you said that, I'm gonna message her and ask her, "Hey, did I earn your respect?" After that, I did a Mid-South match like 3 years ago.
Well, Luifsto is not an easy person to please. I can tell you from hearing from other podcast interviews and also.
That's true. I mean, I thought it was a decent match, so I hope so.
And well, even before you even heard about be competing with Luifsto, did you hear things she does inside the ring? Like she's not easy. She's not a fake wrestler. If I say when I say fake, it's like she um, holds her strength or like punches. Like she goes full on like a this is like actual competitive sport, physical violence.
Oh yeah, I heard that. I heard that she was stiff. Like people would tell me that she was definitely stiff.
Because she takes it as real sport, not like entertainment sport.
Yeah, I mean she's stiff, but she's safe, so it's not that big of a deal if you're like not a wimp, you know.
All right. Well, we got to end this now. But again, Jordynne Grace, thank you so much for coming for SoCali's Wrestling Podcast. I'll be posting it very soon so everybody can see it and hear about this with the very 10 minutes about the things about the socks and the panties and what the comments they kind of talked about you and you kind of embrace it.
Oh yeah, we talked about a lot.
Yeah. And now I know, and this is the first Skype interview you ever done, which I lost your Skype virginity for the first time. Again, thank you, Jordynne Grace, for.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
And we're good.
Sweet.